Bulis. Today I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a tour. So you guys got some instructions this week, a little note from me, a little quote that I'd like to kind of think of as our goal for the rest of our course. So creativity takes courage. So this is a really hard time, and sometimes it's hard to be creative, but it's also a really great time to be creative because it's a distraction. It's going to give you an opportunity to explore some things that I would never typically do in a class. So I'm really excited about the fact that we can do some different types of activities. So your tasks for last week were logging into Office 365, completing the welcome back survey, and posting a picture of your first favorite self-isolation snack. Goals for the rest of the art course is provide some activities, so fun things that you guys can do at home that allow you to experiment and explore art. So not serious activities that are really into perfecting your drawing technique, because I can't be there to support you, but activities that are going to allow you to make your own kind of discoveries at home. Provide a platform for you guys to share and discuss. So we've already started a feed about our favorite snacks. I'd like to kind of keep that sharing kind of a flow. So you guys are going to post your artwork each week and not overwhelm you with too much content or work due to the current circumstances. So I don't want to do too much in this class, especially because you guys will have other academic subjects that are quite demanding at this time. So I'm going to keep that to a minimum. Just a couple Q&A questions. Don't have art materials. Don't worry about it. I've got it covered. Lots of these assignments are non-traditional assignments that don't use typical art materials, and you'll always get some choice. Technology, I've tried to make sure that these activities only use technology a few times, or you get kind of a choice of whether or not you'd like to use more technology. Again, make sure that you're contacting me if you have any questions, are unsure of how to do an art challenge, or just want to say hi. This is my favorite part of my job, and I'm really sad that I don't get to see you guys, so don't hesitate to ask. Just contact me during the day because I do like to sleep. Okay, so what is an art challenge? Art challenges are quick, they're fun, they're experimental art projects. They're trying to give you a toolkit, something that you might not have tried before. Could be with an unusual material or a new technique. It's not about a perfect final product. I can't be there to assist you guys every single moment. You can always send me pictures, but I want you to really think about this quote here. So an artist is an explorer. So you guys are exploring things on your own, and you're kind of documenting these experiments. Okay, so quick, fun, experimental, lots of exploration. So some ideas of what challenges could look like. I will likely be getting you guys to try some painting with some kind of unconventional, unusual materials at home. So painting with coffee, maybe taking a silly kind of art history painting and redoing it in your house to the best of your ability, going outside and working with nature. So we're doing things that we wouldn't normally do in an art class, which is kind of cool because it's kind of allowed me to think outside of the box. Okay, so how does it work? Every 2 weeks, I'm going to post a new art challenge. So you'll get a couple ones to choose from every week. So there's always going to be 2 to 3 choices of challenges to choose from. So you don't have to pick one. I'm not forcing you to pick one. Oops, sorry. You're going to only choose one of these challenges to work on for 2 weeks. If you are bored or itching to make more art, you can always do more than one challenge. Each week, I'm going to post this on Teams. So each week has its own challenge. So I'll just show you on Teams. Each week is going to be on Teams. So this is our main page, our welcome page, where you guys posted your snack. You're going to do the same thing with your art that you've made in the challenge in this week 1 and 2 challenge. And that's where I'm going to post the instructions and this video. Okay. And then next time I'll post the challenge here and here and here and here. And we have about 11 or 12 weeks. And then there's this little random chat if you guys want to chat with each other or post something that you think is cool. Okay. I'm going to talk about it later. So art challenge week 1 and 2. This is what you guys are doing this week. I'm going to show you a little demo at home. Okay, so option 1 is a texture drawing. So you're filling a piece of paper with different textures. Option 2 is a little bit more technology involved. It's taking pictures of different things reflecting. So option 1, texture drawing. What you're going to need: dark pencils, crayons, charcoal works best. So any kind of chalky materials, crayons work well, pencils are fine, pastels, sidewalk chalk, all of these things can work quite well. If you have a barbecue, you could try using some charcoal from your barbecue. Just make sure you're wearing gloves. Printer paper or thinner is preferable. So you don't want a thick paper or it's not gonna work. Objects with different textures, so you need to kind of be willing to go on a little bit of a scavenger hunt, so finding objects that are interesting like keys or vents in your house or textures on different surfaces, your floor, maybe there's some things outside, tile, anything like that. Okay. So step 1 is you're going to find some objects around the house with interesting textures, and step 2 is you're going to create a texture or rubbing collage drawing. I went around my house and I found a bunch of interesting things. So this is something I found. This is from my oven. So make sure you ask your parents before you take this out of your oven. Maybe something with an interesting kind of texture fabric. I got this old belt that I think might be cool. My oven mitts kind of look kind of different. Maybe some string. I've already experimented with a couple different things. So this is just the start of one. So again, this is pretty thin paper. So this is my oven element and some of my tile from my bathroom. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the object. So let's take this belt. You're gonna put it underneath a piece of paper, and then you can use, I've got a piece of charcoal here because it's nice and dark and easy for you guys to see. But you can also try different pencils that you have at home. And then what you're going to do is you're going to place the object underneath the piece of paper. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to create a little drawing of it. So you don't want to press too hard or you'll rip through the paper, but you don't want to press too light. So my belt is doing some really neat things. I'll show you guys in a second. It's a little bit harder to get the whole belt. Maybe I'll try a little bit of this part of it. So if you're using a pencil, you want to make sure your pencil isn't super sharp. So duller pencils are better. Okay, so that's, if you guys can see it. Some kind of interesting textures in my belt. Other things you can try, like this string, for example, does some really cool things. You can kind of see some of the textures here. Maybe if I spread it out a little bit more, I'll get a little bit more interesting of a pattern. Oh yeah, that's better. So you're getting like an impression or kind of a reproduction of each of those objects. Something like my oven mitt. Working as well. Yeah, so if you get things that aren't making patterns, kind of abandon them. So you might want to make kind of a test sheet like this first. So you kind of got some experiments there. And then what I'd like you to focus on is I want you to make kind of a whole overlapping drawing with lots of different textures. So for example, I've come in here and I've already kind of started layering things. So I've got this fan coming over top of my thing. Maybe I'm like, oh, it'd be really cool if I had some string over here, kind of over top of this area. Okay, so these start to look really, really cool once you get lots and lots and lots of layers. So you want to do many, many things and fill up a whole sheet. So you don't want to have too many kind of areas like this where it's really, really empty. You want to think about another thing that you can put in that area. Okay, so that's project number 1. What I'm looking for there is that you've really, really filled up the entire page. So things like keys are really good. Things with signs are really good. This looks like a texture, an event or something. So filling up the entire slide. Things I want you to think about when you're doing this, and this is how you're going to get your mark, because this is all about experimentation. I experimented with different types of drawing materials. Have you tried pencils, chalk? Maybe you've incorporated a little bit of color. Okay, so different drawing materials. Experimented with trying lots of different types of surfaces. So surfaces being, maybe you tried a belt, maybe you tried a piece of fabric, maybe you tried a metal thing in your house, maybe you found an oven mitt, maybe you used a fan, okay? So lots of different textures. Oops. Experiment with overlapping and rubbing in my drawing, okay? So we're talking about, this looks kind of interesting because it's got a couple different things kind of interacting with it. This doesn't look as interesting over here because it's just one thing. So trying to put things on top of one another. Filling the whole page, okay? So this isn't a great example because there's, maybe if it was like only this small of a drawing would be a better example, but making. So second task is taking a photo of a reflection. So when I say take a photo of a reflection, I'm talking about kind of reflection in either like a window, I've got a window beside me, maybe a reflection in an object, okay, so that you can see some of the light in there, maybe a reflection in like a dark screen. So I'm going to show you guys the video because I think that's going to explain it the best. So that's kind of the idea of the assignment. Things I'm looking for when you're working on this assignment. I would like to see at least 6 different photographs that you'll post on the group. You should, if you've really experimented, taken around 20 photos. I experimented by taking photos in different types of lighting. So are you in a light room, a dark room? I took photos that are close up and far away, so close to the object versus far away from the object. I experimented by taking photos of different types of reflective surfaces, so like a window or a TV screen, maybe a mirror. I experimented by changing filters or camera settings on my phone. So you fiddled with different settings on your phone to create different things. So in your document, I've given you the instructions. I've also given you a link to the Art Assignments Tumblr. So it's got different examples of ways people have interpreted the assignment. This one's really dark. Okay, so that's kind of an idea.
the way I'm marking your assignment is if you've experimented with all of the things listed on the experimentation checklist. So this is the experimentation checklist for texture. This is the experimentation checklist for the photo assignment. If you've experimented with almost all of these things listed on the experimentation checklist, this is an A. Your art challenge shows lots of development of technical skills. So you've tried the different things I've suggested. You've done some different types of risk-taking and experimentation. B is you've met about 3/4 of the things on this experimentation checklist. C, you've met about half the things. So minimal effort, you haven't developed any of the skills or tried any of the things I've suggested.